Well, joining us live from Brooklyn, New York, is Libby Lenkinski. She's the Vice President for Public Engagement at the New Israel Fund. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Kimberly was just describing to us the kind of divisions this is creating on Capitol Hill, plus the kind of divisions that are being seen amongst American voters and American Israeli supporters, Israel supporters as well. What's the reaction amongst your members to what's been going on?
Well, as you may know, New Israel Fund and our tens of thousands of supporters around the country and the world have always been an engine of progressive civil society, of liberal democracy in Israel. So this struggle is not new for us, though it is certainly reaching new heights as this extreme right-wing government led by Netanyahu is pushing to truly dismantle the divisions of power that do exist within Israeli democracy, and including today. So we are against what is going on. We are in solidarity with the hundreds and thousands of Israelis who are marching today. And we are in solidarity and in great support of hundreds of progressive nonprofits that are pushing for true democracy for all Israelis and those living under Israel's control.
The Prime Minister Netanyahu himself has a very strong support base within the United States, as does Israel itself and as does the Israeli government, at least in previous iterations. Having said all of that, from your point of view, are you detecting any shifts in emphasis or shifts in support from people who would normally be staunchly behind Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government?
Absolutely. I mean, we know from public opinion research that between 70 and 80% of American Jews largely self-identify as liberal and vote Democrat in American elections. What we're seeing in Israel right now is antithetical to those values. So we are seeing voices in American Jewish leadership and on the streets here coming out not to undo their support for Israel, but to change what it actually means to support the Israel that they know and love. To support the Israel that we know and love means to oppose what this government is doing. Now, for myself and for many supporters of the New Israel Fund, it goes far beyond this judicial coup. We believe that there can be no democracy while there's occupation. We believe in equal rights for all. But what is right in front of us, all of us who are watching and all of us who are there on the ground, is an unprecedented act against democracy. And so we are seeing an outpouring of voices from North America and from around the world, and including on the streets in Israel, against this judicial coup.
Just very briefly, this is only the first part of a series of proposals that are going to be put forward in terms of changing the legal process. What are your expectations for democracy in Israel should they all be accepted and all go ahead?
Well, I think what we're seeing on the streets is that large parts of the Israeli population are not going to stand for these kinds of changes. And so if this first peg, this first legislative peg is any indication, I think we are looking at big struggles ahead. And I want to say that while today's news may have sent shockwaves through some parts of the world, this is not the time to despair. Those of us who want to see Israel thriving as a democracy need to take this opportunity for organizing the broadest possible coalition on the ground and around the world that we can to defeat these extreme right-wing elements. From my perspective, we need to expand what that pro-democracy camp looks like to include all those people living in Israel and under Israel's control and all the people who support them. But right now, the first step is to undo some of the harm that's already being planned and that has already been voted in today.
Libby Lenkinski, we appreciate you being with us on Al Jazeera. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you for having me.